Hey, it's LaShonda Henry here, creator of the Unblock Your Blessings 90-Day Challenge, created to help you build your best business, life, and self. I absolutely hope that you are enjoying the challenge, and at this point, hopefully at least once you've connected with me via email or even on YouTube, on Facebook, Twitter. Just let me know what you think about the challenge and also what you're doing right now to ensure that during these sessions, you're not only listening to me, but implementing and unblocking your blessings. So let's talk about today. As always, I have a choice, then some chat, and then the challenge. Today, step number 6. I want you to choose to will and work versus whine and wait. You know, I'm a very proactive person, and I believe that self-motivation is the key to get anything done, especially as an entrepreneur. When you've got a 9 to 5, you've got that consistent money coming in, but when you're an entrepreneur, if you don't work, you don't get paid, okay? So I'm very proactive, and I try to not only tap into my own self-motivation, but use it to inspire and self-motivate others, you in particular, so that you can get things done in your own personal life and in your business. Now, when I think about that as far as the working aspect of it, I also think about whining and the idea of complaining. I never try to complain, even when I'm busy. You know, when folks come to me and they say, oh God, LaShonda, you've got a lot going on. I'm like, yeah, I'm really, really busy right now. I'm sorry if there was a delay, but I never complain about being busy because for me, busy means business. It's funny, but it's true. You always have to see the silver lining. And if I'm busy and I'm tired and I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning and then my son has to be up by 6 to go to school and then mommy has to do stay at home mom and work at home mom, whatever the case may be, I can't complain about it. I just have to make it happen. Because remember, I said in that previous step, you've got to choose action over anger. Here, it's slightly different. You have to choose to will and work versus whine and wait. Folks can whine. Men may say they don't whine, but of course, any woman with a hubby or a long-term boyfriend knows that they can whine. And then men will say women whine. We whine because we want them to do things, or we get on the phone and we whine with our girlfriends. And why is this? And why is that? It's not about whining. Remember, I said you want to choose one small step over one long wait or delay. Similar, but kind of different concept here. Not only do you want to choose one small step, not only do you want to just move a little bit closer to your success versus wait on it, you don't want to whine about it. You don't want to complain about it, because that time and that energy that you're taking to whine about what's wrong with this and why it's taking so long for that, you can will things into being. I believe that wholeheartedly. One of the closest people to me for a very long time, I considered her to be kind of a sister, even though we weren't blood sisters. She was like my older sister. She has so many wonderful gifts, talents. I was going to say gifts and talents, and I ended up saying gallants. But she has so many wonderful gifts and talents. And I always would get frustrated with her because she would say, well, I'm no good at this. Or, I suck at that. And we don't realize that these words, these self-defeating, these limiting words are actualizing the very things we quote unquote say that we don't want. Not only are you whining about it, but you are basically setting in stone your life. When you say this is never going to happen or this is not going to work, but I'm going to do it anyway, but it's not going to work, you're not putting your best foot forward. You're not putting the right energy out there. You are just defeating the dream. You're killing the dream before you even give it true life and real love. So I don't just simply want you to work. I want you to will what needs to happen into being by believing in what you're doing. And I don't just simply want you to be proactive about getting things done now. I want you to know that you not only don't want to wait, you don't want to whine either. Don't whine about the process. Don't whine about being tired. Don't whine about any of this stuff, because here's a quote. I love these motivator quotes. Entrepreneurs work really hard for a couple of months to ensure that they can live really nice for a lifetime. When you start up any business, those first couple of months or even first few years are going to be hard. they're gonna be hard. I remember watching an interview with one of the wonderful women who created Radio One, and she talked about when she was living out of her car and had to sleep at the radio station. She did what she needed to do to create this brand that is now, even now, in not just on radio but on television, and it's bigger and larger than life. It's become a staple within the media community. But she remembers when she was living out of a car and sleeping in the radio station. You know, I think about when I talked about my Be Blessed vision board and people in particular that I am going to meet because I'm willing that into being. One of them is Issa Rae, and I absolutely love her story. I believe she also talked about when the rent was due and she was 2 steps away from living out of her car, and she needed to get her web video series Awkward Black Girl off the, get it to continue moving because she knew the vision was good, and she didn't know how she was going to make that happen until she said, look, there's Kickstarter, this community-based organization where you can get funding, they call it crowdfunding, where essentially you can say, well, this is my idea, and different people in the social community can give you money in support of your idea. She made above and beyond. If you don't know her story, check it out. Issa Rae, she made above and beyond what she needed to not even just continue her web series, make it better. And she got so much visibility because of her Kickstarter campaign. And then thousands of people are watching Awkward Black Girl, that there's talks about her doing an HBO show. There's talks about her working with, but I believe her name is Ms. Hines. Her name, it escapes me, the creator of Scandal and wonderful shows like Grey's Anatomy. Amazing African woman innovator as far as television and media. There's talks about her working with her. I think it's Shonda Himes. Goodness, my memory right now. Talks about Issa Rae working with her. She's also on, I don't know if you follow it, but All Right TV. It's kind of like cable for YouTube. This wonderful, positive, Christian-based YouTube channel, and they've got their own original series. Issa Rae is on that. She's created her own series within that network called Church, and she's expanded. So she's doing Awkward Black Girl season 3, is it now? I think it's season 3 at this point, because it's just the community is growing, the vibe is growing, and then she's partnering with other innovative producers and web series makers so that she can have more brands underneath Issa Rae. She's a powerhouse. She's a powerhouse right now. She's killing it. And I look at that situation, I think this is a person who could have whined about the bills being paid, the eviction notice. I know that this is my thing, and everybody should be liking my thing. She could have whined about that, but she didn't. She absolutely did it, and look at her now. So I kind of jumped into chat when I said this is the choice that you had to make. And the chat is really me talking about personal experiences, but also people like Issa Rae who do the damn thing, right? And regardless of circumstance and situations, figure out how to will and work versus whine and wait. I think about that for myself because for many years I would say, I'm a smart cookie. I'm building these websites and I've got some visibility. Why don't they notice me? Why don't they feature me in that magazine? Why don't they invite me to that event? What's going on? Why don't they? And remember my Dr. Phil, right? My AKA, my hubby. He's also AKA Dr. Phil. He's got a lot of AKAs. He said to me, let's be clear. It's not simply about you being a wonderful and amazing and a smart cookie, quote unquote. People, especially media people, and I've learned this in the game. Media people, not only are they searching for people, but they're showcasing people who they know, right? Oh yeah, I've got an article to do. And this has happened to me because now I know media people. I've got an article to do about social networking. LaShonda knows about social networking. Hey, LaShonda, can I get a quote for you for this article? Sure. I've been in New York Times several times because I have the Black Parenting blog, and they'll email me and say, well, LaShonda, what's your take on this question? All of a sudden, I'm featured in New York Times because they know me and they know my blog. You got to know media. But when no one knows you and you're invisible and you're not making an effort to make yourself visible, I don't know. There's 2 things I say about me. One, I used to say I'm a typer, not a talker. So I'm willing into being, I'm just words. I'm not a person. I'm not a brand. I really don't want anybody to see me. I'm willing that into being when I used to say I'm a typer, not a talker. That's number one. Number two, I didn't have any photos or anything up of me. If you go to BBWO, it's a testament to who I am. So I still have an avatar, which is a little pink avatar with a little African-American girl on it. And I keep that because like my first full drive on the highway in my car, that mirror that broke and I got that $6 replacement. These are kind of like badges of honor for me, and they remind me of where I have been so I know where I'm going. But the idea is that I was willing my invisibility. That's number one. Number two, he's like, well, you don't know nobody. You don't go nowhere. You don't do nothing. You know, he keep it real. He's my real Brooklyn Dr. Phil. And I had to be honest with myself. So I decided to start changing things. That's when I made it a point to go to every Blogalicious, and I went to every Blogalicious for several years, and then I started to speak at Blogalicious, and then I said I'm going to go and do as many opportunity as events as I could, and then I became more visible. I said I'm going to do some YouTube videos. I'm going to get in front of the camera. Watch my first video. It's horrible. Absolutely. My voice, I'm stuttering. I'm soft-spoken because I'm a fairly soft-spoken person, by the way. But it was the beginning of now, I guess I'm not quite an Issa Rae YouTube sensation, but I am a cyber celebrity in my own right. I've got my own following. People watch my videos. From my videos, people have found me. I've been in Essence and Ebony. I've worked with Black Enterprise. I've worked with Disney for Magical Mocha Moms. I've done things because I said, oh, I actually have to put myself out there. Oh, I actually have to invest in myself and I think I spent on my first event when I went to a conference. I think I spent about $1,500 between the conference and the hotel and the travel and all that stuff. And I had to make it happen. And then Black Enterprise, they invited me out to several of their events and they paid for it, which was absolutely wonderful. For the Women of Power Summit, I was able to go out for that. And they also have several signature events that they have throughout the year, and then they had an entrepreneurs conference, and they had me come out to that as well as a media to showcase it on my network, Black Businesswomen Online, as well as Sister Sense. So I've done a fair share of being invited to go out to events and speaking at events and creating my own events, but that didn't happen until I started to put myself out there and invest in going to events. I've got actually an article on Sister Sense about the 7 steps to social networking and all the things that I thought that were so naive and so stupid. I'm going to say they were stupid because it's like, well, this person got featured. How come I didn't get featured? Well, look at the conferences. That person is going out to the conferences. That person is making themselves known to the people who are featuring people. What are you doing? Well, I can't afford to go. Okay, well, if you've got that limiting belief that you can't afford to go, then shut up. Then just sit there and be ignored and be invisible. That's just the reality of it. Will and work versus whine and wait. So, of course, that is your challenge today. I want you to think about something that you are whining about or waiting on for some miraculous change in life to make it happen for yourself. Write that thing down and then start willing it to be being. Will it into being. Anything that you ever said that is limiting or defeating, don't say it anymore. And of course that takes time to do, right? But at least you're conscious of it now. So when you go, oh, nope, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say, Lord, if it happened, I'm going to say, no, Lord, I'm claiming it when it happens. You want to claim it. You want to will and work versus whine and wait. So that is your challenge for today. As always, I hope you are enjoying the Unblock Your Blessings 90-day challenge. More to come. Take care. Bye.